Hi friends, welcome to my video. This is Emily at the Coloring Oasis. Today I'm going to do a review of my brand new Blick Studio alcohol marker set from dickblick.com. This is a Blick exclusive product. You can't get anywhere other than the Blick art store. And they do have an in-person store, I believe, in Las Vegas, a huge store, or you can buy from their website. I'm also going to do a full entire flip through of this brand new book by Coloring Book Cafe, The 4 Seasons, 100 amazing pages. We're going to flip through this book and I'm going to pick a page to color in so we can test the markers on Amazon paper. And then I'm going to show you, I already did do one page with these markers to test them out for you. And that is this one. So I have to say, I love the markers. They perform and feel very similarly to the Prismacolor Premier Alcohol Artist markers, which are kind of chunky markers. This is my Copic Marker A4 paper. This picture was a Dara Kirkersoy's Patreon membership page, or summer picture. And I wanted kind of the summer colors and the vintage color palette. So here I went with the corals and the navy blues with a little purple here. I blended, it blends well. So I blended on this paper the shorts with a medium and light coral and an orange. I have a chartreuse and a yellow chartreuse. I did 3 different yellows in her hair. And the glasses I did a kind of a clear color, and then I added a sparkle stick on it as well. I even did the skin tone with it, which I normally only do with Copic markers. And I did the purse as well. I did add a little bit of liquid pearl embellishment. So you can see how bright and popping the colors are. This paper was great. This paper has a good amount of tooth. It is marker paper, so it doesn't dry as fast, so you can blend fairly well. I thought it was perfect. My favorite marker paper is my Express blending card, but this is second best. Obviously, Copic markers are also alcohol markers. So yeah, so you can see how it looks on printer paper. So I'm going to show you real quick. This is what the markers look like. They come in this very heavy case, 96 colors. Let me show you the back. Here's the colors you get. Don't confuse this with my giant case of, I don't have it here, but my Blick Studio brush markers, which is something else I've reviewed, and those are water-based. These are alcohol-based, and they only have the pointy nib and the chisel nib. So unlike Copic's, my Shin Hand Touch and a lot of my other alcohol markers who have an actual brush nib for an alcohol marker, these do not. So let me just show it to you, and then we're going to do the flip through of the book, and then we're going to color. You do get these in 4 trays, which is kind of annoying. I thought it had a nice array of colors. So they're a little mixed up because I was coloring. These are the ones I was using here, the navies. I did the orange, the yellows for the hair. I used this spice color on her shorts, these 2. So you get these really pretty blues and pinks. You have all these neutrals, browns, grays, and lots of skin tones. I was actually surprised. Skin tones, but you can also use these for like earth tones, you know, for foliage and sand on beaches and things of that nature. They're really pretty pink here. And I don't know why. Oh, that's the next tray. They got lots of greens, more blues. And I just realized they are all messed up because I've been using them. So all those blues should be with the other blues. We do have a good amount of greens, 3 darker grays, teal, some of these light mint kind of greens, and those are the chartreuses I was using. And then we have all these grays. Now, I have to admit, I don't understand why they include so many grays. We have like 9 warm grays from lightest to darkest, which is odd. Same with the cool grays. Then we have a warm black, a regular black. We have an alcohol marker blender and a blue gray. So it's kind of weird. I feel like I would have rather seen, like, look in the reds. The reds, we have 3 reds and a spice. Why do they have so many grays and not more red shades? That I have not figured out. We have 1, 2, 3 pinks. So I would say, oh, okay, I'm sorry, we have a rose petal and a coral. But I would say that I don't think these colors are very balanced. They can cut their grays down by half and add more actual colors. I'm going to write to them and make a recommendation for that. I have not seen they have, they do have some smaller sets. Actually, I'm going to pause this video in a while here and investigate real quick to make sure I'm not missing something. If there's additional colors you can buy in additional sets. This is just from their main 96 set. So, I do think that they work beautifully though. The color is nice and thick and rich. Good heavy markers. Here's that chisel nib. Here's the pointy nib. The color on this is just point blank red. So there's just a color name, no color number. All right. So let's move on. I'm going to do the flip through the book, pause and look at the markers, and then we're going to start coloring. I haven't chosen which page I want to color in for you guys in the markers, so I will choose as we go. This book is brand new, it just came out. I do love Coloring Book Cafe. I mean, obviously it's not like, I don't know, it's not like, I guess they kind of run like Jade Summer maybe makes me think of, and these are individual cited, which is why I love this book. It is a big fat book, and I feel like their art is kind of mature, like it's definitely not for beginners. And I don't know how to describe it. Like, the scenes you see are what you might see in paintings or artwork on a wall in someone's living room, if that makes sense. I guess it's like, which is good. I mean, I like that. It's different, and it is basic line art. I'll go a little bit quick because we have 100 pages here. And it doesn't say what season they're in. I assume it's in spring right now, but you can kind of make that assumption, I suppose. I'm going to actually look for a summer picture we can work on. Typical Amazon paper. I like this one. Now for Amazon paper, it does work amazing with colored pencils. I do lots of Deborah Muller pictures with colored pencils. I do lots of, this cake is a maybe. I do like this cake. I do lots of Hannah Linen markers, a lot of Jade Summer Cook Wyoan markers. You can do alcohol markers on Amazon paper. The only thing is you can't do quite as much blending because it dries on this paper really quick. You have to have like your 2 or 3 colors. I try to stick with 2 colors if I'm blending on Amazon paper. And you want to have your colors sitting out ready to grab. And quickly drop the one and grab the other to blend in before the first one dries. So you just have to work faster. And obviously you do get the bleed through, so you have to put a divider. Here we go. I think we're in summer. Oh, I'm gonna have to do this one. Aloha. I love that. Oh. Here we go. We're in the summer pictures. This is a nice book. I can't wait to get into the winter. I wonder if there's some Christmas pictures in here. I actually haven't looked at this yet. Ooh, I like that. See what I mean? These kind of look like paintings you might see on someone's wall in a doctor's office or something. That one's pretty neat. This is like a beach town. Camping. So if you don't have a lot of particular seasons books, I would grab this one because you get a little bit of every season and you can use it all year round versus just your Christmas books or just your Halloween books or just your autumn books, whatever. You're in summer. Gosh, I don't know which one I want to color on camera for you guys. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, I love the rooster. We're going into autumn here, I think. I assume. Oh, I like that one. That's sweet. Get my coffee. We got some gourds. It's a gourd. Lots of gourds. I'm the only one that has to have coffee in the late afternoon because you get slumpy. That's a bad habit I picked up recently. All right. Autumn. Aloha. Ukulele. Pumpkins for sale. And some of them look kind of plain, but you can do fancy backgrounds and lots of color blending to really make these pictures pop. Lots of nature, I feel like, in this book. Here we go, we're in winter. Oh, it's been so hot. We don't really get that much heat here, and it's been like in the 90s all week. It's miserable. I wish it was winter right now, in fact. That'd be nice. Aww. Skiing. They should have at least one that's kind of Christmassy, shouldn't they? That's sweet. I'm gonna have to do some tutorials for you guys this year on how to color snow. It's really difficult. Snow's a pain. This book is crooked in the camera. It's sliding around. I just realized. Sorry about that. I'm going to pause, check out the Blick markers real quick, and then we're going to do some testing and coloring in one of these pages. So I chose this picture. Thought it was kind of cute for summer, kind of a country farm in the summer, kind of a scenario with a lemon tree here. I got some greens for the leaves, some blue for her dress, and some brown for her hair. So let me zoom in a little. And we're just going to do a little bit of her dress and hair here and try out the markers on this paper. Now, obviously, this is just one medium. If you get this book, you can use any medium you want. It doesn't have to be this one. I linked this book in the comments. I'm sorry, not in the comments, the more drop-down menu below. Remember what I said about having to work faster when you're using these on the Amazon paper. It's a little bit easier when you're using darker colors though. Doing a few different shades for her hair. I have 3 different browns here. Okay, so that blended really nicely and I worked quickly enough so the colors look fairly natural. I do have my divider page here because obviously that's going to leak. I wanted to get the bangs, so I'm going to try to do trying to do some darker roots and just with this basic line art. If you're not using pencil, you do have to keep it kind of simpler because there's no grayscale to kind of divide up the color. And I need to switch to my chisel nib so I can cover this surface faster. I'm a little bit used to using a brush type tip, even for a lot of alcohol markers like Copics, the Spectra markers. A lot of markers I use actually do have brush nibs. I don't use a lot of chisel nib. I'm trying to go. So, and the chisel nib's a little tricky because it's so easy to go over into the white area. Switch over here. Now keep in mind, when you do alcohol markers on Amazon paper, once it dries, if you don't like a look, like, okay, now I'm starting to see more of a gradient there from the dark to the light, I'm going to go in with the second color. Try to blend it a little bit. Keep in mind, you can go over it with pencil and fix some of that, and I can show you how to do that. I'm just going to go actually over both with that medium tone, which will sort of soften that transition line. There we go. I'm going to do the rest of her braid. I'm going to get that dark again. Then I'll show you some of the blues I'll do for her dress. Just doing that kind of darker brown around her braid. Some of that mid-tone here. Pretty easy. We'll see. We'll check out. I have 3 greens I chose for the leaves, so we'll try that out. So far, these work fine. You can see it's a nice, rich color. I'm gonna go back over this with the dark. Obviously, you can do pencil or water pencils, or with very light amount of water, because the paper is, you know, a little thinner. That's just how I get my moving fairly quick to get those colors in. All right, let's do a little bit of her dress. Now it'll fade a little when it dries, which alcohol markers do on this paper. I have 2 colors. I have a blue and a periwinkle for her dress. I'm actually going to color in these. Don't worry if it goes on the checker lines, because I'm going to go over that with the dark blue. Just trying to get most of the inside here. Kind of hard to tell where that is. Gosh, I'm really squinting here to see where the checkered line end begins. And so these little nibs are really good for small areas, I can tell you that, which is harder to do with the brush marker tips, which a lot of my high quality artist markers are like that. So this is actually convenient. Oh, I did look on the Blick website. I don't know why. I looked under my order history too. The 96 set, which is what I'm showing you, is currently not even on their website. I just bought this like 2 weeks ago, so it might be back ordered, or they did have several smaller sets, which is actually cheaper because this set was like $223, and then they have all the individual colors. So you could just buy like 5 or 10 markers if you want and try them out. And if you want this same set I have, go and give them a call and ask about it. Because I just bought this at the end of June 2024. So if you go to dickblick and you put in Blick Studio Art Markers, you won't see that 96 set, and I don't understand it because I just bought it, so I don't know. Unless I got the last one. I find that hard to believe, because this is their their actual own brand. I also got the Blick pencils, which I have not done a video or even opened yet. So I have no idea how those are going to work. I've heard they're really good. So I will do that in a separate video. So this is just enough to kind of show you. I'm going to do the blue on the dark blue on her checkers. We'll see how that looks. I'm probably doing more errors than I should. I'll finish some more of that later, but I'm going to do this dark blue here. Hope it's not too dark. It might be, darn it. I think purple might have been better, but you can see this little area, this little nib is definitely better for these kind of small details. Yeah, I would never be able to do this with a brush marker. I'd have to use a gel pen or something. So this is actually great because it's not that easy to find good artist alcohol markers that have the pointy small ends. One of the Ohuhu lines does have it, and I have them all, but I don't remember which one it is. That's pretty sad. I am a marker junkie. Actually, I'm an art supply junkie. This was actually supposed to be the navy one, going this way. All right. Do you guys remember the Oscars 2022 when Chris Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife's short hair? It was cut short, like military style, for a movie, and he jumped up on stage and decked him. I have no idea why, for no random reason whatsoever. As I'm sitting here coloring this, that scene popped into my head. All I heard this, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." The Will Smith being an aggro jerk. I can't believe Chris Rock didn't press charges for that. I so would have blasted him. That's just inappropriate. I think Chris Rock handled it well, with grace. I would have just kicked his butt back if I was him, but, you know, they were on live television, so. Awkward. I have no idea why I thought of that movie. I don't know. I heard the words, "Get my wife's name out of your mouth." And I'm like, where's that from? I'm like, oh yeah, Will Smith. So let's move on to the leaf so you can see what that looks like. This is really hard to get the lines even so it doesn't look too chunky. All right. You can kind of replicate what I'm doing if you get this book with any alcohol markers of decent quality. The cheaper the alcohol marker, the more likely it will be to dry even faster and fade much lighter than the wet ink color. All right, so that's what her dress will look like when I'm done. Let me unzoom so that we can do a leaf, some leaves. Actually, I can zoom into an actual leaf. How about we do these two leaves here? You will see this completed picture, I guess, in my what I called in July video. See, these leaves are very basic. There's no extra lines or veins. There's no grayscale. So they're a little tricky. There's different ways you could do this. I'm going to just kind of do a basic 3 color blending way. And I didn't swatch these, so I'm not even sure this is like the best 3 green combo here. This is like a quick blank color test video I'm doing for you guys. I want to go too slow here. Okay, color number 2. I lined them up. Oh yeah, see, that's way too light of a transition, so that's not a good match. But oh wow, look how well it's still juicy. there's a way I can fix that. Let's go to the third color. And actually, it looks like it's blending in a little. Like actually it's much juicier than I expected it would be on the Amazon paper. Okay, this color looks really close to the last color. It has a tad more yellow. So that's not a great gradient. So I'm going to go back to the first color and go over the lighter green, and you'll see some specks of it underneath come through. So if you don't like how that looks, just go over it with the dark color, and it almost gives like a multi-tonal dimension from underneath. There we go. And again, then I'll come in with like a pencil, and I'll do a little pencil work on these after, which you don't have to do, but you can. So yeah, you can see it kind of comes through in little bits there. You could also get a yellow. Let me grab a yellow. Yellow. I'm gonna grab a bright yellow. Put a little yellow in here, see what happens. And that's actually just not really working. That's working more like a alcohol marker blender. So I'm gonna have to get a pencil. Do I have a pencil here? Let's see what I have. I have a bunch, like this thing of pencils that need to be put back where they go. Is it dry? It's already dry. Is this too light? That's too light. Well, I'll let that dry some more. I'll come back and do that. So let's do, so now that we know it's going to do that, I'm going to do just the lighter color and then go dark over it. We'll try that instead. Let's do that next. This is the second mid-tone green I had. And you can just use these to base, instead of it being your final, you know, product. This is my other lighter green. So you can see how bright these greens are. So you can see it is blending. These are two different greens. They're blending fairly well. It's not looking dry. It looks nice and rich. Yeah, that looks nice. So now I'm going to take the dark, go over it, and just see what that does. Let's see. It's just an experiment to see what different effects we can get here. So I need to get the smaller end and get in. I got a little green on the flower, but I'll probably use a darker color, so that's okay. So this might be more like an evergreen tree color. But now that we've started, I have to kind of stick with it. So this one you see a little more yellow shows through because I put that yellow in there. We could even try to put some yellow on there, which will lighten it up. Bring some of that. You know, leaves look kind of wrinkly and ripply. And they have different shades when you look close at a leaf. So when that dries, I'm going to get like a yellow pencil and a bright green pencil and try to, if I find the right colors. There's a different, what is this? This is a Holbein. Will this work? Yeah, see, here we go. This is a Holbein. Oh, that goes over really nice. I just grabbed it. Like I have a basket of all these random markers and pencils that are not in their current sets that I've just found laying around over the last several months, or when I use random ones when I pull from a set and then I forget to put them back. So like I have to go through it and put everything away. I could get a dark pencil too. This one might not be dry enough yet. Yeah, it's not working as well because it's not dry enough. I'll get a dark pencil and I'll kind of fix this so it doesn't look muddy. So what else? What other color do we want to try? Do we want to try? We could do that yellow straight up on the lemon tree. I'm gonna go out. Let's do the lemon tree. I'll do some, just do the straight up yellow so you can see how that looks. Plain old lemon. Ooh, nice bright yellow though by itself. Look at that. Yeah. I don't think I used, oh yeah, I did use this one in the hair of my Daria Kirker Soy Summer Girl. Nice bright yellow. So I will continue coloring off camera and do a quick snippet video at the end so you can see the completed look, which for you will just be in seconds, and for me it'll probably be 2 or 3 days. I just wanted to show you real time what it can look like to color with these markers. I do think they're working pretty well. Obviously it's going to bleed through because they're alcohol markers, but I can say it's going onto the paper nicely. Are there any more lemons? So I'm going to do, actually here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do just these little leaves in the 2 bright greens maybe. Can we do that? Like, let's see. Not the dark one. I can actually do, I could even put a little yellow into there that's in the lemons. Which would look more like that. A little bit of white, like a little, where that white is, some yellow veining. That looks nice. All right, so I'm gonna continue coloring this whole thing with these markers off camera. You'll see in a few seconds what it looks like. So the last 2 days since that first part of the video, I finished this picture with entirely the Blick markers. The only thing beyond the Blick alcohol markers that I used is a white Sioux color pencil, similar to an Arteza or Prismacolor pencil. The reason being because there's a limited range of like browns, right? So I used some browns for the wood, different brown here, different brown for the tree and fence, so it didn't look like they're all the same browns. But then I was like realizing, gosh, I don't have any colors left for the dog. The black would have been too dark to make him out. And I didn't want to do him in too much gray because I did a gray and blue sky and gray kind of in the gravel or the little walking path here. So I had to do kind of a sepia color, was the only color brown I hadn't used left. And then it was too dark and it kind of blended in too closely with the deck. So I went over him then with a gray marker over the brown and then a white pencil to kind of lighten him up a little so he stands out more. And for this sky, all I did, there's 2 colors. It was a sky gray color and a kind of a pale blue. And what I did is I did the blue, I'm sorry, I did the gray all entirely as a solid color, and then I went over it with the blue, and then it kind of leaves this effect, this kind of swirly effect by going that blue over a gray. Very simple. This was all very simple. I did use a white Posca pen here, and I just realized I forgot to do the light in the window. So like a light reflection, like a pale yellow or something. So I'll do that now. But overall, you can see how you can, and I do want to stay, I had a divider cardstock page after this that was in between, and this whole the back of the picture literally transferred onto that cardstock. And considering you can almost see the entire picture on the back and it transferred to here, tells you these are really good markers. They're so thick and rich and juicy in ink. Most alcohol markers, even my Copics, don't make this clear of a picture to where you can almost see what the picture is from behind and go entirely into the next page and replicate the picture on the divider page. So these are very heavy ink. I have to say this book lays flat, considering it's a book with 100 pages, and I had no trouble coloring in it at all and blending. I think it looks really beautiful, and don't hesitate to use alcohol markers. Anyway, I will link this book below. I highly recommend it. And pick up a few of these Blick markers on dickblick.com, on one of the smaller sets, and see how you like them. And if you want the big set I have, I don't know why the set isn't on there right now, but you could email and ask them when they're going to get the full set in, and I will finish up this window. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and happy summer.